Can you see the thing blinking? Perfect.
Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor as well as education advisor, coming live once again from the beautiful city of Hamilton here in New Zealand. And if you guys notice, I'm also coming live from a different setting altogether. Normally I sit in front of this blank white wall which is in my home office, but today I came to the AJV office here in Victoria Street in Hamilton, and myself, and I'm accompanied by my colleague Nick, who is also one of our ex-students who finished a course in filmmaking. So he's come on board to help me with this live session today. And Nick, having completed a master's in filmmaking from the University of Waikato, has been trying to flex his creative muscles a bit, and he's been coming up with all kinds of technology. So today, for the first time, actually, we are using an external camera on this live stream, and we're using some technology where, if you guys look, you will also have the logo of the company to the bottom left hand or right hand side of the screen, and then you'll also see a link to our website to the right hand side, and of course my name and the fact that I'm a licensed immigration advisor. Legally, it is required that I need to show my license to you, which is what I do every time I come live on Facebook, but today I forgot my wallet in the car, and so my wallet card is remaining there. But what I managed to do very cleverly is pick up the license of the wall that hangs here at the office, and here we are, and having a good time. Yeah, I'm able to watch it now. Yeah, there it is. So you can see that Nicholas is up to his tricks, and is able to zoom in and out with all the latest technology stuff that we guys are working on with. And yeah, it's pretty exciting to see all my young students shaping up and going on to do their stuff, and becoming part of Team AJB as well. So, right, so what all did I do? I introduced myself, I showed my license, I told you the premise of why the background looks different today, and some of the interesting technology we are using today. So, and the only other difference is that like every week, unfortunately, I'm not able to go live on YouTube. So today it is just Facebook. So I'm actually coming live on our official AJV Global Facebook page. But I believe my team, my wonderful team, who is always lurking in the background on Skype, has shared it to the Facebook group called NZ Options, where a lot of you ask us quite detailed questions about moving to New Zealand, and it's also being shared to my personal Facebook feed. So hey, look, warm welcome everybody, and sorry guys on YouTube and Instagram that we couldn't do it today, but we will try and figure out this technology. So that's next task for next week, to ensure that he's able to live stream like how I used to live stream before on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. And I will always also use my trusty mobile phone to go live on Instagram as well, but today, because we are experimenting, we didn't want to have too many variations, so it's just Facebook for today. But hey, look, Facebook works like a charm for us, so quite happy to go ahead and do that. So as always, my wonderful team is supporting me, and you can just click on that website at the bottom of the screen right now, and that will take you straight to the AJV Global website. And if you click on team, you will see all the people who work for AJV Global, and it's an amazing team, even if I'm saying it myself, but I truly and honestly believe that it is one of the most professional and well put together teams to promote New Zealand internationally to deserving and high quality clients who would like to either come and study here, or come and study and settle here, or just come directly on skill migration, or seek other opportunities like investment, business, so on and so forth. So we are here to serve you. So do click and click on that website at the bottom of your screen, and give us feedback and let us know if all this new technology is working. If it is not, I might just go right back to my good old camera on the on the laptop, and make it a lot simpler. But hey, look, today we are, AJV is not a terribly large company, yet But we are a bit like New Zealand. We are small, but we are very innovative, and we want to keep trying out new stuff. Where it's exciting because we work with a very young group of people. All our clients are very young, people, and we want it to be exciting for you. We don't want to be some fuddy-duddy, suit-wearing, immigration advisor sitting in the corner of some office somewhere, and not in connect. We want to be with you. We want to walk with you guys and work with you guys and keep doing all this innovative stuff. So I bet that we are the most innovative company promoting New Zealand at this moment. So all of you planning to come here, you don't have to look beyond HIV. So what I'm going to ask Nick is Nick, while we are anyway, since we are doing some fancy stuff, you want to do a quick pan off to show a little bit of the office. Yeah, so there it is. If you can zoom in onto that wooden box there, now that one, that you just, yeah. So that's actually, a gift that we received from two of our clients called Neha and Vijay, who came to New Zealand as students and then found fantastic jobs and moved on to get their residency. So we did the whole thing. Inside that wooden box was actually a very good bottle of wine. And right on top of that box if you look at that black cap, which is a very typical Nepali cap, yeah, that one there. That's also been a gift to us from one of our wonderful Nepali clients. So that's the other thing. So we are not catering only to clients from India, but we're catering to a very huge multinational kind of clientele at the moment. Yeah, if you just pan around a bit more and go onto our wall there, and you'll see a blank right on top there. But that's Maba. That is the license for Mary Joseph, who is my colleague and senior manager, and who sits here, and she is the overall manager here for the Hamilton office, and some of the certificates of representation. That one's from University of Waikato, and yeah, if you zoom out, there are some more certificates about all our different memberships. And if you just span a bit more and show a bit of the street outside there you are. That's the streets of, and if you saw a sexy car outside on the road there, that's mine, parked there. Stop it, Nick, you don't have to zoom in all that. So, but yeah, that's where we are, guys. So we are based in the city of Hamilton, and we are right on the main road here in Hamilton. It's called Victoria Street, and yeah, it's been working very well for us because Mary and Virginia and Nick also comes and works here, and Anjana, who is also currently our student. Nick is an ex-student, but Anjana is still doing a postgraduate course in marketing, so she has come on board as well, and she's working part-time. Hopefully will go on to work full-time just like Nick. But hey, look, we guys are walking the talk and helping our students to get into their careers and keep moving forward. All right, that was a really, really long introduction, but I'm a little excited. I'm like a boy with a toy because we're trying out all this new technology, and I guess boys and toys will always get the excitement level up a little bit. All right, first question is from Deepak Sharma, who says, just wanted to know whether my experience in India and Oman will be counted for immigrant applications. All right, Deepak, okay, so Deepak Sharma's question, yeah, absolutely, Deepak. There is no reason why your experience in India and Oman will not be counted, because there are certain rules within the immigration law of New Zealand where your experience can be counted. Although there is another interesting twist to this whole immigration thing, where there are certain countries called comparable labor markets to New Zealand. So if you have worked there, then of course you're eligible to show your experience towards immigration applications. But obviously it's at the resident visa application or the work visa level only we're talking about. But otherwise, also if you're not from one of the comparable labor market countries, there is a way and means of being able to show your experience and make it count towards your resident visa application or your work visa application. So yeah, absolutely, Deepak. And so what I would like you to do is get in touch with us, because as I keep saying in each and every one of my live sessions and videos and everywhere else, a lot of you take the immigration process for granted, and you think it is just a simple thing to do, put in some details online and upload some documents, and you think, voila, it's all going to come and fall into your lap. It's not as simple as that, guys. So whether it is for the simplest of visa applications, it could be quite a tricky process, and that is exactly why the government created people like us called licensed immigration advisors, because even the government knows that this is not a simple process, and which is why people like me and my colleagues, Mary and Tulika, these are the other two licensed advisors in the company, and one more of our colleague called Navya, who's an ex-immigration officer, has just come on, has also applied for her license, and that's the reason we have people like us, well versed with immigration law and experience to be able to provide the right guidance. So Deepak, yeah, to cut a long story short, yes, you will be able to use your experience in India and Oman, although I think both are not comparable labor markets to New Zealand, but under certain circumstances, that particular experience can be counted. I'll not get into the details of it now. Get in touch with us because this is the first time I'm doing this session from the new office. I forgot to get my, my board, which I hold up normally and say, hey, look, this is where you guys can contact us. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tell you the contact details, or even better, let's make it cool. Click on that website at the bottom of the screen and go and click on the contact us page, and you will be able to see how we can get in touch with AJV Global. All right, guys, awesome. Moving on. Okay, my team's saying that this particular setup is looking really good. So thanks, guys. I had to do some introduce some new technology to beat all the new competition I'm getting from our own team. So it was about time I had to innovate and make this better and get my following back and my fans back. So game on, people, game on. Right, next one is Awais Nasser. How many days does it take to get New Zealand study visa? Okay, so Awais, although the Immigration Department of New Zealand lays out certain norms on its website and says these are the normal processing time frames for temporary visas or permanent visas and so on and so forth, it can vary quite dramatically. And so I would think, you got to prep yourself well enough, and my recommendation is to lodge the application as early as possible, maybe 2 or 3 months before the start date of your course, because if at all your application is picked up and there are certain verifications that need to be done, then it could it could go into a bit of a longish loop. So I would recommend to lodge it as early as possible, but sometimes applications are also being decided in about a week to 10 days time. So there is really no set pattern as such, but I think a lot of factors go into the picture as to from which country you are, what kind of an immigration history you have, who is the agency that is filing on your behalf, for instance, because for as a company, we at AJV absolutely ensure that we're doing exactly the same work as what the Immigration Department of New Zealand is doing, which is to pick and choose the best talent possible to be able to come into New Zealand with no adverse background in terms of health or character, so on, or in their funds and stuff. So I'm sure Immigration New Zealand also understands and sees this trend of good companies that are launching good applications, and possibly we will. I'm not saying we do. I'm just thinking that any sensible organization will say, okay, these guys are working in tandem with our own objectives, so maybe we can fast track their application. So possibly you will get a bit of advantage if you work with a good organized company like AJV Services. We are also recognized by Education New Zealand, which is a government department here in New Zealand. So we are a recognized agency. If you actually, we have that. If you go on to that green and white certificate there, Nick, you will actually be able to see that. Yeah, that one there. That is our official recognition, guys and girls, that we are recognized by the government of New Zealand. So we are called an Education New Zealand recognized agency. Yeah, and I just got intimation, by the way, on my email from ENZ that it's being renewed again. So we are very happy about it. So yeah, there are various factors, Awais, and one of the factors is also which company is launching your application and how well it has been put forward. All right, guys? Cool. Let's go on. I'm quite liking this, although the office is a bit warm, but it's pretty cool. Ankit Wagela, one of our students who I just met. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys, I was on this amazing road trip with my colleagues Nick, who is behind the camera, and also with Anjana, who is not here today, but so Anjana and Nick and I, we went on this amazing road trip to go and meet our students, our AGV students here in New Zealand in two cities called Wellington and Nelson. So we first met our clients in Wellington and had an amazing time, and we had some of the old timers who have now moved on into good jobs and residency and are on the verge of buying their homes and stuff. And there were some who just arrived a week before. So it was a beautiful gathering. So we had a beautiful restaurant, and we had an exclusive zone to ourselves. And we bought them lots of good food to eat and good banter, good friendships. There were some fantastic connections that were made. One guy who is doing a course in 3D animation actually managed to meet one more of our senior AJV students called Sagar, who not only finished his 3D animation in New Zealand, but is now working with probably one of the best creative companies in the world called Vita Digital, which is based in Wellington. So Aditya, who is the young student who was doing his 3D animation, was absolutely stoked. He was so overjoyed to meet Sagar, who is working in Vita, because for all these fresh young 3D animators, like Vita Digital is like, it's like the ultimate goal of their life. So it was like, for him, it was like, being in a holy place and meeting a holy man kind of thing. And interestingly, Sagar's wife, who has also come to New Zealand, she's got a background in environmental sciences. And one more of our students who was there, his wife works for the Government Department of New Zealand, which deals with environment. So there were all kinds of interesting connections were being made, and of course there was lots of laughter and banter and catch up. So, and then from after Wellington, we guys drove to Nelson, and for that we had to do a ferry crossing. So we drove the car onto the ship, and then that took us over to the South Island, and then we drove for a couple of hours to arrive at a city called Nelson. Again, we had a fantastic get together, and Nick and Anjana have put together some great footage of all these events, and I bet they're gonna edit and come out with those films very soon. But in the meantime, if you wanna check out some of these things, photographs of our trip and everything, just go to Facebook and check out our AJV Global page or our group called NZ Options. All right, guys, cool. Thanks, Ankit, for saying this is looking sophisticated. We put in some proper brains behind it, mate. So. Okay, Kevin Alexander Roche asked, "Hi, I'm an AJV client. Hi, Kevin. What a smart young man you are, man. What a smart young man. Can you elaborate more about the difference between thesis, research, thought? What would be resourceful in New Zealand and worldwide career-wise? Would need your advice around this." Okay, Kevin, there isn't a terribly lot of difference, to be honest, except that the thesis and research one has a very strong research component. The big advantage for students who are doing masters by research is the fact that you get full-time work rights, so which means that you're pretty much studying on your own, because all you will have is a supervisor, but you're pretty much just working on your own and putting your research, and which will eventually then become into a thesis which you present to your professor and other people who will evaluate it. So that's one of the main advantages. And my own understanding, I could be wrong with this, but I think those who are aspiring to eventually go on to do a PhD or probably end up being in the academic as an academician, perhaps would opt to choose the thesis route, whereas the other people would by and large opt to go for a taught kind of a course, because sorry guys, so because in the taught you actually have a tutor who is there to guide you through the entire course and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that is one of the biggest advantages. But by and large, if you are looking at doing a full-time job and be able to research on your own, then yeah, I think a thesis, a master's by research is good. But sorry, people, as always, my cough flares up. Too much of talking. But otherwise, Kevin, I think it should be all right to go for a thought course as well. Have a chat with your AJV advisor, and we will get more details as to your future aspirations, because we are not people who recommend something just for the heck of recommending it. We would like to know what is it that you want to do. For instance, Nicholas, who is actually shooting this whole thing right now, came to us because he has a strong aspiration to go on to become a filmmaker in future. And so, unlike a lot of other agencies which don't put effort into understanding what is the future aspirations, we just didn't blindly suggest. In fact, it tells us that he came to AJB after he was already talking to somebody else, some other agency, and they were for some vague reason insisting that he go for a business course. But when he came to us, we said, no, this young man is absolutely got the talent. He already had a beautiful portfolio, worked for one of the best TV companies in the world, and we said that's where he belongs. So that's what we did, and he's now finished and he's working full time for us now, which is a phenomenal, closing of the loop for us as far as we are concerned. But likewise, Kevin, for you as well, we would like to understand what exactly are your aspirations. For instance, if you end up, if you intend to end up becoming a lecturer, for instance, and seeing yourself as an academician or a future researcher, going on to do a PhD, then most definitely you need to opt for your master's by research as well. But if you're saying, hey, look, I just want to go for a master's, get done with it, get out and get my post-study work visa, find a relevant job, and then go on to get your residency into place, then probably a thought is the best option. But don't get pulled in or sucked in by this greed of thinking, oh, but I can work full time if I do a master's by research, because it can cut both ways. If you're working so long and not able to focus on your master's, then you might end up failing the course, which means that none of your future plans will fructify. So you guys and girls will need to understand that doing a master's in New Zealand is not easy. It is going to be a tough challenge. So you need to be very, very committed to that. So don't come with the aspiration of, oh, if I do a by research, I can work full time, because it will be very tough for you to manage. All right, Kevin. So continue to speak to your AJV advisor, and we'll take it forward from there. All right, let me check to see what my wonderful team is saying. They're saying super high definition, one of mine. Right, and then okay. Next question is from Shrestha Ayub, and he says, how is the course Early Childcare in New Zealand, level 7? Can you say stuffs related to it? I wonder what stuff. But I did my bachelor in social work. Can I do childcare diploma level 7 in New Zealand? What are my chances? Okay. Hi Shrestha. Yeah, man. Possibly there is a bit of an overlap between what you've done before and what you're intending to do in New Zealand. So yeah, possibly there is a bit of an overlap, and I think you could be considered quite seriously for a course like that. But there are also some interesting courses which are related to your background as who's already got a bachelor's in social work. So that's something that also you might want to consider. Because I don't know why you're opting for childcare diploma, because obviously it's not something you've done before. It looks like somebody has suggested it to you, and that's the reason you're asking us. Just bear in mind that while there is a slight bit of overlap between your childcare diploma, which you intend to do, and your background as a bachelor in social work, you probably will be better off sticking to social work, because childcare diploma is it's different in terms of I think it requires a different set of skills and understanding and knowledge of this entire industry. So you might want to be a bit careful about jumping into it. I have a feeling some agencies suggesting it to you, and that's because why a lot of agencies suggest particular courses only is because these guys will have only 4 or 5 institutions from New Zealand on their portfolio, And so unless and until they send students to one of these 4 or 5 institutions, they will not earn their commission. So what they will do is they'll try very, very hard to try and fit you into one of those 3 or 4 institutions that they work with. For instance, if you click on the website at the bottom of your screen right now of AJV Global, and if you're able to, in fact, I'd like my team to click and let me know if it is actually working quite well, so that we can use this going forward as well. But yeah, be careful about what agents suggest, because agents don't have your interest at heart. They have their interest at heart. So a guy like you who is probably meant to end up in social work might end up in childcare, and you may not like it at all. So I'd say have a connect with Team AJV. Click on the website at the bottom of the screen and go to the contact page, and give us a call or send us an email or on Facebook or wherever, and we would like to speak to you and find out what is exactly your future aspiration. Like I was just mentioning, the reason Nick today is a filmmaker is because he came to us. But if he had succumbed to the advice of that very unprofessional agent who was trying to push him into business, the poor guy probably would have been a little lost and not be looking like the cool dude behind the camera as he's looking right now. You might want to just show your face first, right? Yeah, come, because I've been saying Nick throughout the. There's our man. There's our cameraman there's our cameraman for the day. Our big video professional right here. One of our very proud AJV students, and now working with AJV, and it can't get better than that. Okay, back to your position. Get back. All right. Okay. Rahul Praveen. Okay, my team has. Okay, next one is. Neha, my colleague, has given me a little rap on the knuckle and said I haven't spoken yet about the latest news which came in today about the partnership visas. Yes, Neha, sorry, I forgot. I just got very excited with all this new technology and stuff like that. But yeah, jokes apart, ladies and gentlemen, there was a very important announcement today from the Prime Minister of New Zealand, because one of the burning issues in the last few weeks here in New Zealand as regards the immigration process is concerned is the fact that the Immigration Department of New Zealand, or INZ as they are called, have become very, very strict in processing partnership visa applications, where it's a partnership made out of marriage or a de facto partnership where they have lived long enough together to be considered to be in a real partnership. So what the Immigration Department of New Zealand decided was that they're going to stick to the rule book verbatim, go word by word practically, and they said unless and until you are in a real relationship and unless and until you have been living together for 12 months, we will not consider you as partners. Now obviously that created a lot of problem for people from countries like India and some other countries, predominantly from South and Southeast Asia, where marriages are a bit more traditional. And in many instances, these marriages are arranged marriages. And people who come to New Zealand, let's say to study, they finish their studies and get into the post-study work visa and find a good job, and then they go back home and get married. And then they want to bring their partner across to New Zealand. But what happened was, because of this traditional way of getting married, it was clashing with what was there in the immigration law of New Zealand, which said that not only should you be in a legitimate relationship, but you should also have been living together for 12 months. So obviously that created a bit of a catch-22 situation, because most of these people who get married are in traditional marriages and they don't actually live with this person. They just get married and want to get the spouse along. So their only option was to either go back and live with this person for 12 months and then come back again saying that, okay, look, we'll live for 12 months together and here's all the proof, or, kind of. So it was quite messy, to be honest. And then there was a bit of a verbal joust happening between one of the cabinet ministers and some of the members of the Indian community, and it all got a little ugly. And so eventually it reached the Prime Minister's office as well. And today, Jacinda Ardern, who is our Prime Minister here in New Zealand, so she made an announcement, and I shared it already on our Facebook group and page, and also on my personal Facebook ID as well, where she has said that they are instructing Immigration New Zealand, the department, to revert back to the status quo as it was before and take into consideration that the traditional marriages may not necessarily adhere to the exact wording as per the immigration law of New Zealand. So that I think is very welcome news, and I'm sure there are a lot of relieved people out there because they do get married to be able to live with their partners and bring them over and that sort of thing. And sometimes, as I said, in traditional marriages, that whole 12 months living together does not happen. So the Prime Minister even went on to say that it was actually not a cabinet decision, but it was actually a decision made by certain officials within the Immigration Department of New Zealand. So I bet they're going to review this whole thing, and I think it's a very proactive government, and which is what I like about New Zealand because I live here and I promote New Zealand so passionately because I strongly believe that it's a very fair society, that's a very fair government, and Immigration New Zealand is also a fair department. We are all human, we can make a mistake once in a while, and so I guess that's what happened. But very quickly it reached the Prime Minister's office, and the Prime Minister said, okay, no, we're going to review this entire thing, and she has very graciously and kindly said that it's going to be reverting back to the status quo as before. So all's good in the hood, as they say here in New Zealand, guys. So you guys should and girls should be able to bring your beloveds, unless until you're enjoying your singlehood here in New Zealand. Well, that's another story altogether. Okay, but good news, good news. So don't get New Zealand off your charts. Please come to New Zealand. You can't find a better place, and you can now bring your dear partner along as well without much of a hassle. Okay. All right, there's a question from Blessing Sibi who says, hi Arun, what are the possibilities for university level teachers in New Zealand? I'm a PhD in linguistics with 8 years of experience. How should I move forward? I'm 39 and is currently in India, and Blessing has shared his email address. All right, Blessing, hey look, fantastic background in the first instance. I think it's a great background that you have, and yeah, you'll probably, be considered pretty high up for a position here in New Zealand in a university, which has got a good, strong linguistics department. How should you move forward? So, one of the common things or, pieces of information I reiterate all the time, Blessing, is that it is almost impossible to find a job directly in New Zealand when you're not present in the country. So you might, and because again it's a bit of a catch-22 chicken, situation, or a chicken and egg situation where a particular institution may like your profile, but they cannot give you a. But they'll say, hey, look, we'll give you a job offer if you have a work visa, but you can't get a work visa unless until they give a job offer. So it becomes that what comes first, the chicken or egg kind of a conundrum is what develops. So which is where. And the reason a lot of employers, whether it is an institution or other employers in New Zealand, normally do not encourage wanting to give a job offer to somebody who is not in the country is because they do not understand immigration processes, and they don't want to go through the trouble of giving a job offer to somebody and then not being sure whether that person can actually make it to New Zealand or not. So that is the simple aspect. And the other thing is that there's already a good supply of fantastic talent here in New Zealand already. Not only our own local Kiwis and young New Zealanders are coming out of universities and seeking good opportunities, and polytechnics and seeking good opportunities, but there's a massive amount of high quality skilled migrants who come in as well. And then there is, of course, this big cohort of very high quality international students who complete their course and then get a 3 years post-study work visa. So they are in the job market as well, and that's the reason a lot of employers are not very keen to consider anybody who's not present in New Zealand. They'd rather go with one of these other people who are immediately available in New Zealand for a quick telephone chat or a face-to-face interview and that sort of thing. And so, which is where, and direct skill migration is also ruled out in most instances, unless until there's a very, very particular combination of factors. But even if those factors are all in place, one of the conditions you've got to meet is that you need to have an offer of employment in New Zealand or actually be employed in New Zealand, or you should have studied here for at least 2 years and qualified with a master's or a PhD. So when you look at all this, either getting a job directly in New Zealand or getting direct skill migration to New Zealand is kind of quite a tough task, which is where, as an organization, AGV, we suggest that you make an investment of your money, time, and effort, and come into New Zealand and undertake a course here. If you can come and do, you already have a PhD, perhaps you could consider doing a 1-year master's by Thesis, or 1-year master's, short master's, or whatever. And once you finish that course, you would actually be able to get 3 years post-study work visa, and then you will enter the job market here in New Zealand as well. And the money you put towards your course and your living expenses, you would be able to earn back, because you'll be allowed to work part-time while you're studying. And if you're married, which I'm thinking you would be at 39, but not that I'm presuming anything, but I'm thinking by and large you should be married. If you are coming for a master's, your wife would also get a full-time work visa, so she can be working full-time and you can be working part-time, and whatever investment you make can be recovered. And then after you complete your course, you can get a 3 years post-study work visa, and so essentially you will have 4 years in New Zealand to prove your worth. And with the kind of background that you mentioned, I do believe that you will crack something or the other. And once you crack that and you have that job in New Zealand ticked, then of course you can apply for your skill migration. So that's the way we recommend a pathway. And as a full-fledged end-to-end migration company, AGV, we guys will advise you throughout your journey. That's the reason we have this wonderful, beautiful office staffed by people. We're going to set up more offices across in Auckland and Wellington and Christchurch. Definitely, that was the most recent discussion I had with my local staff here. So we are planning to, so that we can stand by you throughout your entire journey. So you guys will have to, and girls will have to take the decision of making that investment and taking that leap of faith of coming into New Zealand as an international student. Get into the right course, and we are there to make sure that you're getting into the right course, and they will hold your hand and walk with you throughout your entire journey about, after you finish your course, your post-study work visa, do some networking for you, hopefully help you to get into the right job. And once you get that, then we can advise you about applying for skill migration, so on and so forth. So it's quite simple. It'll look difficult sitting from the outside, but it's just about taking that leap of faith. And a lot of people are fearful of taking that leap of faith because they're very comfortable in wherever they are, and they're like, oh, should I let go of all this? But what you lose out is the opportunity in this lifetime to live in one of the best countries on earth, not only by yourself but with your family. And this is absolutely one of the most amazing places on earth to bring up a family. So yeah, don't miss out on that opportunity, guys. And just give us a call. Click on the website at the bottom of your screen right now and go to the contact us page and get in touch with us. And it's all free. We don't charge you to speak to us and get some good information. I promise you good, honest, authentic information, because we are licensed advisors and also a bunch of other very strong professionals who are in the team. So I promise you we'll give our most honest advice. We call ourselves the friendly and frank licensed advisors for New Zealand. So please do not hesitate to pick up the phone or send us an email. We will give you the best information possible, and then based on that, you guys can take a call whether you really want to do it or not. If you do it, great. We'll support you throughout the journey. If you can't do it, not a problem. We will remain friends. Continue to watch our live sessions and the rest of our beautiful videos and share it with your family and friends. All right, cool. Next one, how are we doing on time? I still have 20 minutes for, okay, and my throat is behaving as well. It's remaining, okay. That's what happens when you stop smoking, so. Payal Basu, hello everyone, this is Payal, hope you are doing good. Very well, Payal, thank you for asking. And yourself? Had a question on the timelines after allocation of file for partnership visa. Would you be able to throw some light on what could be the maximum possible time a case officer can take after the partnership file is allocated to them? We have been waiting for more than 2 weeks after allocation. It has been with Mumbai office. Thanks. Hey Payal, again, like I said, although Immigration New Zealand does publish certain timelines on its website, it varies from case to case. It depends on the complications that may arise or may not arise. Sometimes there are some, for instance, one of the most critical documents could be the medical report that is submitted by the panel doctor who has done the medical examination, and sometimes they flag something which they find it as not, for ordinary people like us, for lay people like us, we might say, hey, look, but I'm in the best of my health. But, doctors will pick up something, a high count of something or the other and say maybe this requires some further investigation, and that is when they refer that case to somebody called the medical assessor here in New Zealand, and it comes to Wellington, and so we don't know. So at this stage, all I can tell you, Payal, is no news is good news, because if there is no news from the assessing officer, it means that it is progressing smoothly, and there are no big queries coming up. So, and they are saying that there is a big backlog of applications. Be happy that it has been allocated, because allocated means that work is happening on that case and it's not just sitting in a pile somewhere on somebody's desk. So I think maybe we need to wait another 2 to 4 weeks time, and hopefully, and I'm quite certain that there will be an outcome. But if you have applied through AJV, please ask your advisor to send a probe once every 10 or 15 days. We don't like to ping too often, because visa officers are also human beings like the rest of us, and they'll also have a limited amount of time and patience to work with, so we don't like to ping them too often. But if it is something of a concern, they will let us know and we will fight it. But in the meantime, all I can tell you, Pyle, is please be patient. Enjoy yourself in New Zealand. It's only a matter of time before your partner comes and meets up with you again. All right? Thanks, Pyle. Okay. Right, Prashant Chauhan. My interview was on 2nd November. I'm not sure if Prashant is one of our clients. Hopefully he is. I know approximate time to get AIP or result. Hello, sir. My interview was on 2nd November. It was good. May I know approximately time of getting result or AIP? Hey, Prashant, if your interview was already done, more than likely in the next couple of weeks, you should have some kind of an outcome. And if you have applied through AGV, unfortunately, I can't know right now whether you're an AGV client or not. But if you have applied through AGV, please check with your officer, case officer, and he or she will, send a probe and check to see whether there is any progress. But yeah, it shouldn't be too long from now. All right, cool. Ramandeep saying, hello, sir. I'm an AGV client. Well done, Raman. What a smart person you are. I've received an offer letter from AUT, and I'm waiting for offer letter from UC, which is University of Canterbury, for those of you who don't know. I've applied for Masters in Construction Management in both the universities. Fantastic. I was tilted towards UC since it's outside Auckland, keeping PR rules in mind. I have to apply for a loan as well, and I'm aiming for Feb 2020 intake. What should be my next step? Should I go with AUT or should I wait a little longer? Okay. Good question, Raman, because there is pretty substantial building activity happening in Christchurch as well as in Auckland, or even in Hamilton for that matter. So you're probably good to look at all these different options. I would say, because you're looking at a Feb 2020 intake, you would be good, you would be absolutely fine even if you lodge your student visa application by the end of this month. So I'd say hang it there and wait to get till the University of Canterbury offer as well. And I appreciate the research you've done, and you are stating that it's definitely advantageous to get a job outside Auckland after you complete your course. Well done. I'm very proud of the fact that you've done your research, and you're again a good example of the kind of quality of students we work with. Well done, very proud of you. But I'd say hang in there for a couple of weeks more and wait for your University of Canterbury offer as well. Compare both, take a look at, by and large they should be similar, but take a look at the papers and there might be one or two things that will kind of stand out to you. But really, it doesn't matter when you have both the offers. I think it's eventually the papers that should define where you're going, because it doesn't matter whether you're going to AUT or to University of Canterbury. Although, like I said, you will get the advantage of the extra points in Christchurch when you do find a job, which is definitely an advantage. But again, AUT is equally good as well. And if you get a job in Auckland, and I do believe you will be able to crack it, because by and large, most of our students who have come for this course are doing pretty well. And most of them have translated and moved on into jobs, and some of them have got their residency as well. And we'll be happy to connect you to some of them, Raman, once you come here. So, my advice, wait to get the University of Canterbury offer as well. Take a look at both the papers and both the courses, and then decide and choose which one you want to go to. All right, cool. For us, we are happy to send you to either one, because they're both very good universities. All right, cool. Bill says, "Hey Arun, the new tech you used looks fab, very clear and really spruced up. Congratulations. Just for the heck of it, zoom in and out somewhere, Nick, just to show off a little bit with our new technology." Now you see, we guys are going really berserk with this. Nick and I have been like boys with toys the whole of this evening today, and yeah, it's working well. Nick, by the way, is also my fitness trainer. He's put me on a serious diet, so I'm a little cranky because I've been off the booze and the sugar and the carbs for 48 hours now. So I just want to pick up a beer and quickly chug it down. Right. Shamal Parekh wants to know why today's stream is good. Because we are using some new technology, Shamal, and we're using an external Panasonic 4K camera with Leica lens. That's why. Right. Kevin Alexander Roche comes back and asks, AJV client here, Lincoln, Otago, AUT. What do you suggest in terms of teaching staff and ease of completing the course? Okay. So if you're already looking at ease of completing the course, Kevin, definitely don't look at the by research, because that's pretty much all your own work. But hey, look, they're all great universities, fantastic universities, all three are Lincoln, Otago, and AUT. My suggestion is, if you want to experience real New Zealand, get out of Auckland, because the essence of New Zealand is felt a little in the smaller cities than in Auckland. Auckland is like a very good city. It's beautiful. I don't want to take anything away from it, but it's like any big city anywhere in the world. You could be in Auckland, or you could be in Melbourne, or you could be in Chicago, or wherever. But when you go to smaller towns like Dunedin, where Otago is, or Lincoln, where Lincoln is, you kind of truly smell New Zealand. And then of course there's that added advantage of getting extra points towards your residency if you eventually find a job outside Auckland. So keeping all this in mind, I'd say either one would be good. We equally endorse AUT as well. That's a fantastic university, and a lot of our students who have studied there have come out with very good outcomes and have gone on to establish themselves very well in New Zealand. So yeah, I'd say any one of them is good. And because it's for me, it's always difficult to pick and choose between all these good universities. I'd say always look at the papers in each of these courses and see which appeals to you more, because while by and large they'll be similar, there will be certain subtle differences, and certain papers might appeal to you a bit more. For instance, I will always do a course in business with a strong element of marketing and digital marketing, because that is my interest. So if there are two masters I'm looking at in business, and one has got more papers and a bit of a more focus on marketing and digital marketing, that will be my first choice. So I'd say always look at the papers, but otherwise we equally endorse AUT and Lincoln and Otago universities. I think all three of them are fabulous. All right, cool. Right, so there's a very interesting one called Henok Gabeao. I hope I pronounced that right. Says, hello Arun, I'm Henok from Ethiopia. Oh, hello. That's the first time we've had somebody come on these live sessions from Ethiopia, Africa. Hope you're doing well in your part of the world, Henok, and thanks for coming and asking questions in this live stream. I have more than 5 years of experience in civil engineering work. Now I'm getting my project management professional (PMP). And am I eligible for Silver Fund Job Search Visa? And what's my success rate for this visa? Henok, I don't think you would be eligible. Yeah, probably you would be actually, but they are on the verge of kind of removing the Silver Fund category altogether. This was an announcement which was also made recently, where they are kind of trying to club pretty much all these different types of work visas into one particular work visa. So I think the Silver Fund is actually on the way out already. So it may not be the right thing to consider at this point. What I suggest is email your CV to immigrationadvisor@havglobal.com. If you're married, also email your spouse's CV, and one of the licensed advisors, and we have three of us right now, and one more is on the verge of getting a license as well. We'll take a look and assess to see if there are other possibilities for you. So, Henok, I'd say just email your CV to immigrationadvisor@havglobal.com, and we'll take it forward from there. All right? Thank you. All right. Anything, guys, that I'll need to, and that says to my wonderful team who back me up all the time. Tell me if I missed anybody, especially any of our AJV clients and students who wanting to have some. This looks pretty cool, eh? I mean, I quite like this whole thing actually. And hey guys, can you tell me if that click on the website is working? Oh, you don't have to zoom in next just because I said this looks cool. I'd like my team to tell me if that clicking on that website, the logo looks pretty cool on the. Oh, it's not working, is it? The click on the website. So we'll have to do some more tinkering with the technology. Okay, cool. Well, at least the picture is coming on the website. So yeah, something is working. Mevan Fernando. I'm thinking my friend Mevan Fernando would be from Sri Lanka. I'm planning to come with my wife. Please, you married her to take her along with you. Yeah. I will be spouse visa on a visit. All right. Can I apply for a student visa after you reach New Zealand? Okay. Absolutely, Mevan. There is no law or rule which says you cannot convert your visitor visa to a student visa. You definitely can do it. In fact, we've had a few clients in the past who had, arrived into New Zealand on a visitor visa and then came into our office or spoke to us and said, hey, look, I like New Zealand and I particularly went to this institution and I like this particular course and I would like to take up this course. Can you help me to convert my visit visa into a student visa? And we did that. So definitely possible, Mevan. So if you're coming here and you want to consider becoming a student, give us a call. We have a toll-free number here in New Zealand. It's 0800 or 0800 as we call it here, 696977. So that's our number. So if you are in New Zealand, give us a call on this toll-free number. Toll-free meaning you don't have to pay for it. So you could pretty much use any number anywhere in New Zealand, even a payphone on the street if you don't have a cell phone or freelance. So give us a call and we'll be happy to help you. But to answer your question, yes, you can convert your visitor visa into a student visa. Shaz Ali, I have completed Bachelor in Electronics and Communication, currently working in Dubai as sales technical engineer in the field of cybersecurity. Would like to do Masters in the field of cybersecurity and continue working in New Zealand in the same field. What are the chances? What are the scope of opportunity for cybersecurity in New Zealand? Excellent, Shaz. That's the one single word I can use. Excellent scope for cybersecurity. In fact, I recently was talking to somebody from one of the institutions we work with here in New Zealand, and he was talking about how much of a demand there is for cybersecurity professionals. And New Zealand is we like to develop our soft power, so we are not people who will build big dams and large factories and stuff like that. We're building our soft power, and that means we are focusing on information technology, on the creative industry and biotechnology and those kinds of areas. In fact, they're called our identified future growth areas, and cyber security is, I think, going to be a massive one for us because New Zealand, as a country, is also quite innovative, and for cybersecurity, I think a lot of innovative thinking is required because the cyber criminals are always being very innovative. So to outsmart them, the cybersecurity professionals need to be even more smarter, and I think this country provides that kind of an environment to just be free and let your mind do its actual thing. So I think you'll do really well, especially with the kind of background you already have. Please get in touch with us. Go to our website, ajvglobal.com, and connect with us, send us an email, or connect with me on Facebook. Send me an inbox message, and we will get in touch with you. And we'll be delighted to work with you because you're the kind of people we want here in New Zealand. Because, as I told you, we have a pretty long-term skills shortage here in New Zealand, and one of them is information technology. So I think you'll do really, really well here. All right, Chaz? And we can suggest some really good courses to you as well. All right? And you finish the master's, you'll get a 3 years post-study work visa. I can already see you picking up a job and going on to become a future resident and citizen of New Zealand. All right, cool. Nizar Ahmad says, what are the opportunities for construction planning engineers in New Zealand? Very good. Again, the country is growing very rapidly. Construction is happening in pretty much every city. Little cities are also growing quite dramatically. So there's always going to be a demand for people in the construction, especially planning engineers and so on and so forth. Okay, cool. Okay, back to Ramandeep, my team, my colleague Tulika tells me that your loan might take some time, Raman, and so we may not be able to launch your application by end of November anyway. So, yeah, wait for the offer from UC, but the only complication is by the time if your loan is processed in the name of AUT, the bank might do a bit of drama to change it to UC if you like it better. We'll play it by the year, see how it goes. But I don't see any reason why you shouldn't get your offer from UC as well, and then we will see which suits you better. And if the bank is unwilling to change the loan letter from AUT to UC, well, I guess your decision will be made. But if they are willing to change, and if you prefer to go to UC, we will certainly work with you and guide you along this path. All right? Cool. Okay, and the other suggestion Tulika gives to us, Raman, is that you'll need to start your process like now. So don't wait. Go ahead and start your loan process with AUT because, like I said, they're both equally good universities, so you don't have to worry too much about it. Cool. Last question. It says, Syed Qasim Abbas, how much job required to get PR after SMC job search visa? Okay, Syed, it's not how much job, but how much pay in the job that you require. And as of now, it stands at $52,000 per annum. If you are able to get a pay of that scale, you would be eligible. Of course, there are other bits and pieces that also need to fit in now for the picture to emerge clearly. That would include your level of what's the job you've taken up and so on and so forth. So, which is where you require a licensed immigration advisor. I had to do a quick plug. But so like I said, we'll have to ensure that that your application looks good. But the bottom line is you'll require $52,000 per annum as your thing. Okay, last one. Siddharth Upreti says, greetings, how's everybody? Like the new setup? Thank you, Siddharth. It was good fun to operate with this setup today, and looks like my time is also up. Yes, it is actually. And again, I forgot my wallet in the car because I was in a hurry to come in, and Nick was already a little upset with me that I wasn't here in time. Okay, one more has come in which says, Srishti Shah, he says, hi Arun, I tried to connect with the number provided to me to contact Mary Joseph. Couldn't reach her. I'm looking forward for consultation on partner visa. Srishti, just send a text to Mary on 0226052615. I'll repeat that, 0226052615. That's Mary's direct number. Send her a text or give her a call. Send her a text if she's, up and about and not doing anything all the way, 8:30 in the night. She might, if she's in a good mood, she might call you back and say hi to you anyway. Otherwise, connect with her. She starts work at 9 o'clock in the morning, and she's here at this office. Oh, but tomorrow she's actually going to Auckland. So she is going to Auckland, and she is actually presenting a seminar at one of the institutions. So, Srishti, could I suggest that you call Virginia, and I can give you Virginia's number? Actually, if you go to our website, go to ajvglobal.com, go to the contact us page, or you go to the team page, and there all our names and numbers are there. So Virginia's number is also there. I might actually give it to you. And talk to Virginia. Virginia is an ex-immigration officer who worked with Immigration New Zealand for a very, very long time, and she is currently working with us here at the Hamilton office, and she is also undergoing her course to be able to become a licensed immigration advisor. So she will not give you any immigration advice, because Virginia, as of now, cannot give you advice unless until she gets the license. But she will collect all the information and discuss either with me or with Mary, and one of us will call you back and we will speak to you. So sorry about the fact that you were not able to connect with us. It happens, rarely that we are not able to connect with the clients who want to work with us. So sorry about that, but do connect with Virginia, and her number is 022-516-9008. Okay, it's also on the website. Go to ajvglobal.com, go to the team details, and all our numbers are there as well. All right, Srishti, or send me a text on my number, which is listed on the website again, and once I get back home, I might be able to give you a call. All right, cool. That's pretty much it for today. And so, yeah, I was just saying I forgot my wallet in the car, and that's why I didn't have my license card, so I had to keep using my big license from the wall. And I also forgot my little teeny weeny bell that I ring to say time's up, and I will have to go now. But hey, guys and girls, thank you so much for joining in today. And Nick, great job behind the camera, man. Yeah, I appreciate all the work you've done to set this up and try some new technology. So thanks for bearing with us if there were a few glitches. But we enjoyed doing this, and we hope to create more and more wonderful videos, including these live sessions. We collected tons of amazing footage during our recent trip to Wellington and Nelson. So we're also planning on doing a lot of other interesting videos with the different universities and colleges and polytechnics. So yeah, we'll keep checking the space for more innovative and creative things coming from AJV. And in the meantime, if you're thinking New Zealand, think AJV, give us a call, and we will gladly help you to come to New Zealand if you deserve to be here, and with a big smile. All right, thanks guys. Ka kite ano, which will see you later, and po Marie. Good night.